Tonight, we revisit Nkomba, that's a locality in Bonaberi in the Douala 4 municipality, 1 euro after thousands of people were displaced by Maxi. The victims are still stranded, many demanding compensation from the government. And also, in this newscast, Nigeria's two main presidential candidates unanimously agreed to accept the outcome of Saturday's elections. And we also see how the Nigerian community here in the economic capital Douala is mobilizing ahead of the polls. These are headlines, details in a moment. Good evening and welcome to join us in this edition of the news. 1 year after the Commission for the Management of Industrial Waste Maxi demolished hundreds of houses in Nkomba, that's a locality in Bonaberi in the Douala 4 municipality, the area is still in the state of abandonment as we speak. Thousands of persons who were displaced in the process up to date have nowhere to go to. They are demanding that the government should compensate them. A reporter for Hansen Chanji has the details.
Since I built this house in Nkomba here, and the house has been broken, I have 9 children. I've been so homeless, no place to stay up to now as I'm talking like this. So I don't know how I'm going to pull off my life with my children. I stay in Dobo, in my small sister's house, opposite government school in Dobo.
This is the story of Takem Robinson, father of 9, who was forced among other families to quit their houses for good. 26 March 2014 is the day Robinson will never forget. Hundreds of houses were brought down by Maxi, a company in charge of management of industrial zones in Cameroon. For 18 years, Takem Robinson had been living in his 5 bedrooms, 1 parlor and a kitchen, an apartment he built for the entire family. But it took just few hours to be brought down to ground level.
Yes, I built my house. It was 4 rooms inside, 1 room outside. That is 5 rooms with a large parlor block. No, it's my small sister who has given me 1 room to stay with all the family.
How many are you?
We are about 13 of us. I have 9 children with other grandchildren.
26 March 2015, displaced victims of the incident wearing black visit the site. They could still remember where the pillars of their houses stood. They could still locate their foundation.
Autant on nous fait perdre toute une année scolaire pour les enfants. Et de deux,
Kwekong August, 54 years old, had been living there for 24 years. But now, he has nowhere to go to.
Cela existe encore.
1 year after the destruction, nothing has changed on the site. Debris could still be seen.
No, we're thinking that as they're breaking us more than 9,000-10,000 houses, after 1 year they were going to put some structures like companies. We are citizens of Cameroon. Why should we be suffering ourselves like that? We are not refugees from anywhere, so we suffer inside our country.
Displaced locals who today are still crying for justice say the government should at least compensate them.
So we are pleading that the government should look for our problem and automatically know where to keep us, either to give us some money to go and buy some small places and build and stay with our families.
With or without compensation, going back to the village is not an option.
No, whether I go to Southwest or not, I am a Cameroonian. I prefer to stay anywhere in Cameroon.
The government of Cameroon yet to react or respond to their demand. They compiled by Hansen Chanji. Now acute water shortage hit the nation's capital despite efforts put in place to tackle the rising phenomenon. Residents question why the government could fail to provide such basic essential necessity. Roland Akong has the details.
It's a very dire situation some Yaoundé inhabitants are facing with serious water shortages due to inadequate distribution utilities. Some inhabitants are expressing extreme frustration, asking, isn't there nothing the government can do to remedy the situation?
Ça fait au moins une semaine aujourd'hui, l'eau ne coule pas.
Il y a les problèmes d'eau à la carrière qui datent depuis très longtemps.
The lack of potable water has exacerbating effect on people. The enormity and gravity is big to the health of the population consuming or using contaminated water.
On va puiser de là depuis payable. On paye, on puise. C'est comme ça que nous vivons ici là.
In the Carrier neighborhood in Yaoundé, inhabitants get their potable water from bore water points. All available evidence points poor policies on water, by officials at the Ministry of Water and Energy as the main cause of serious water shortages in Yaoundé. At the ministry, nobody was available for comment.
And you wouldn't believe that Cameroonians have to cross over to Equatorial Guinea just to fetch water. The precious liquid has been absent in most areas of the southern region for several weeks now. Let's take a look at the day-to-day challenges of locals in Ebolova with Jacques Ekwekinge.
Potable water has become very rare, like dog's tears in the town of Ebolova. For weeks now, pipes of the water distributing company, Camerounais des Eaux, have remained dry. This situation is causing enormous hardship to the inhabitants, who now are forced to wake up very early and move for long distances in search of the precious liquid. The affluents, usually witnessed at these water sources, have urged many to stay awake in order to get even a drop for their daily house chores. The inhabitants say it has been 3 weeks running without potable water. This has forced them to get water from doubtful sources like wells, rivers and boreholes, with the risk of contracting waterborne diseases. The situation is not without any financial implication, as one has to disburse the sum of 200 francs CFA to get 20 liters of water. This problem of water shortage has also affected businesses in the South Regional Capital, especially with those doing in restoration. Report says this situation is also affecting neighboring villages around Ebolova, even up to the border town of Kiosi, where the inhabitants of this town now cross over to neighboring Equatorial Guinea to fetch for water. Inasmuch as they say water is life, authorities of the Camerounais des Eaux have remained mute and indifferent to the plight of the population. Meanwhile, they continue to slam the inhabitants with exorbitant water bills, and in the wake of non-payment, no effort is spared to be served a disconnection notice.
And water, not the only challenge of inhabitants of Ebolova South region of the country. Economic activities have been on a standstill in that part of Cameroon following weeks of blackout. Electric poles and cables are littered on the town or in the town to the indifference of officials of the electricity distributing company. Once again, Jacques Ekwekinge has the details.
The Bilon and Cité de la Concorde neighborhoods in the town of Ebolova, including many other surrounding villages, have been deprived of electricity for many weeks, if not a month now. Electric poles belonging to the electricity supply company NAO now lie haphazardly on the ground with the electrical cables creeping on the floor. The inhabitants of these localities have continued to live with this imminent danger despite the many complaints already forwarded to the authorities of NAO. Complaints which, according to the inhabitants, continue to be given a deaf ear by the authorities of the electricity supply company. The situation was recently worsened by a heavy-duty truck transporting timber which pulled down many electric poles as the cables were hanging loosely. The inhabitants, and especially business persons, have been decrying a great loss in business caused by this lack of electricity. The inhabitants say they have been used to staying for 15 days a month without electricity, but with the current incident, they say they don't know when the situation will be ameliorated. They are all the same calling on the authorities of NAO to respect their slogan, which says it is dangerous to play with electrical cable. Meanwhile, the cables continue to linger on the ground almost everywhere in and around the city of Ebolova.
And officials of the European Union have reaffirmed the Commission's commitment in the fight against Boko Haram in the far north region of Cameroon. In a press conference held yesterday in the economic capital Douala, the Commission's Director of Development Cooperation, Marcus Konaro, told journalists that the aid is in three phases: short, medium, and long term. The short term is in the form of humanitarian assistance, that is a sum of 4 billion francs CFA has been disbursed to that effect to help fight humanitarian crisis in the north and eastern Cameroon. The director further explained that the EU is monitoring the fight against Boko Haram and could only intervene with the medium and long-term measures depending on the weakness or the strength of the regional forces being put in place. Let's now have an excerpt of Konaro Marcus was speaking to a reporter for Hansen Chanji.
Medium and long term, this is under development cooperation funding. And fourthly, and this has been the good part also here of my stay in Douala, was to be sure that we don't lose sight of what the private sector can do more generally for a country with a lot of potential, with a lot of good sort of entrepreneurial talent, but still quite a lot of obstacles to overcome. And a point I did make and I got reconfirmed is that also that the EPA, the Economic Partnership Agreement, I think has all the elements to be of great benefit to Cameroon by making sure that there's sort of an improved tariff regimes, and this in the backdrop against which has been reconfirmed that already as far as anything but arms export to Europe are concerned, they're already tax-free. But beyond tax, I would also believe and hope that this would enable investments to come and also sort of local production value-added chains to improve.
And special rapporteurs of the National or the Finance Commission of the National Assembly, which is ongoing in Yaoundé, have been urged to carry out their duty with diligence. House Speaker Kavaye Yekejibri was speaking while commissioning them into their functions. Details of that report with Roland Akon.
The National Assembly has been empowered to check bad governance in the system in Cameroon. Special rapporteurs in charge of control of public finances have been put in place in the National Assembly.
Well, what is going to happen is that members of the Commission of Finance have been, as you have heard, attributed certain sectors of the public life of the state where they will have access to control, they will have access to accompany the various executive bodies, that is, various ministries, in their use of state funds. So on the one part you have General Rapporteur who will be in charge of all the state revenue, which is tax, petroleum and so on, and on the other you have a number of rapporteurs who are in charge of the control of public finances, that is the expenditure.
The innovation is enshrined in the 2007 law instituting special rapporteurs in charge of control of public finances.
This was supposed to be instituted on the 1st of January 2014, but we had some administrative delays because a team had to be put in place and the organization was not yet set. And we got a promise that it will be set on the 1st of January 2015, which is what has been done. And so we were waiting for the March session to be installed in our new functions.
The special rapporteurs can only check and make propositions. Unlike all other bodies checking bad governance in the system in Cameroon, they can only back but cannot bite.
And in news out of Cameroon, Nigeria's two main presidential candidates have signed an agreement to prevent violence in a tightly contested election Saturday. Former military ruler Abdul Salami Abubakar brokered a deal in talks between Goodluck Jonathan and his main challenger Muhammadu Buhari. The two accepted to respect the outcome of a credible poll and urged their supporters to refrain from violence. Some 800 people were killed after the 2011 contest between the two rivals, and today is the final day of the campaigning. Meanwhile, the Nigerian president Goodluck Jonathan has ordered for the closure of all its land and sea borders ahead of Saturday's tightly contested elections. A government statement is saying that the measure is to take effect as from today midnight till Saturday in order to ensure that the votes go on smoothly. Thousands of Nigerians who fled from the 6 years insurgents perpetrated by Boko Haram and are taking refuge in neighboring states would equally take part in the elections. Now, still out of Cameroon, officials say that the co-pilot of the Germanwings flight that crashed in France deliberately wanted to destroy the plane. Information from the black box voice recorder said that the co-pilot was alone in the cockpit. He intentionally started a descent while the pilot was locked out. The prosecutor said that the pilot fought to no avail to re-enter the cockpit but couldn't because he was locked up by the co-pilot. He said that air traffic controllers made repeated attempts to contact the aircraft to no avail. They're bringing us to the end of this first segment of the news. Up next is Talking Point. As I indicated earlier, tonight we are going to be looking at how Nigerians here in the economic capital Douala, precisely the Nigerian community, are preparing ahead of the polls that's going to be taking place on Saturday. Nigerians are bracing to go to the poll Saturday in the face of Boko Haram insurgents, and a deal has been reached between the two main candidates to be able to respect the outcome of the elections that is going to take place on Saturday. This is just to avoid the 2011 post-election violence that, or from repeating itself, that killed hundreds of people. Our guest tonight is the public relations officer of the Nigerian community here in the Littoral region, Mr. Ishmael Adobela. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Talking Point. I'm sorry for the mispronunciation.
No, it's my pleasure to be here.
A pleasure as well, just to find out how you are prepared, the Nigerian community in general, ahead of the elections come Saturday.
Well, thank you for giving us the opportunity to present our action plan of action. You know, we Nigerians in diaspora, we have not a right to vote in the diaspora. Maybe subsequent election we may have the right to vote in diaspora. But however, some of our compatriots who have passion for their country, Nigeria, that I want to be part of this history, because this election is history making in terms of the noise of the election, not only in Nigeria, even the international community. So most of them travel to obtain their PVC, permanent voters card. Likewise, me too, I have my own. Tomorrow I'll be passing through the air. So most of them have traveled to go and cast their votes and vote wisely for the right president that they can lead Nigeria in another 4 years. So, and I believe we really have passion for our country. So most of us are already in Nigeria.
Okay, most of them.
Most of them.
And now that the borders are going to be closed, the land and sea.
Already the border have been closed.
Those who want to travel probably tomorrow, will it not have an impact?
No, already the border have been closed since yesterday by midnight. It will be open on Saturday midnight. But there is an opportunity for people like us that we can travel by here. Most of us cannot afford flight tickets. So already the government have notified them that, okay, if you want to be part of this election, you can travel within this. And I think many of our Nigerians, especially those people at border town, because we could not go to Lagos or Abuja, so we prefer to stay at border town, to save cost and other things.
And other things. Now, not up to 20%, according to statistics, of Nigerians think that these elections would be hitch-free. Do you share a similar view?
I want to tell you, and I want to make the record straight. Nigeria is like that in terms of election. Though this election is very, very terrible because of the strong opposition facing the ruling party. But notwithstanding, it's going to be hitch-free, going to be free, fair election. That's why the main contenders have been signing peace accord. There was one signed just recently, which was anchored by the former United Nations Secretary, Kofi Annan, and today we see former President Abdul Salam. I believe they will accept the outcome of the result, and no loser, no winner, because one Nigeria, and we have sportsmanship and spirit. It's just like we are playing football. At the end of the 90 minutes, the winner will accept that I'm the winner, the loser will, after they embrace each other. And that is why you see our government is putting everything in place and say that, look, I'm not there because of my power, I'm there because of Nigeria. Let Nigeria decide. Less than 48 hours, Nigeria will go to the poll and vote wisely and choose their president.
These elections were supposed to hold 6 weeks ago, but it was postponed because of the Boko Haram insurgents. Just to find out from you, 6 weeks after the Electoral Commission were claiming that they would give the country 6 weeks to be able to see how they can save voters during the elections because of the Boko Haram insurgents. Do you think that their objective would be attained?
Yes, I think the government deemed it fit to shift furthermore the election. I mean, you can see the result. Out of the community being captured by the Boko Haram, captured back by the militaries. How many local government, but it's just remained like 3 or 4 local government. And our president said it yesterday that before tomorrow, the rest community will be taken over by our military. And that is why we are praying. We are praying, especially
before tomorrow.
Before tomorrow.
All the communities. Don't you think that the government is trying to react to the elections as the more the elections draw near, the government is trying to take more actions, more repressive actions against Boko Haram. If the government had done this earlier, wouldn't it have solved the situation better?
No, I don't agree with you, because if you look at what happened in Nigeria, we cannot fight these people without having the sophisticated weapons. And we had a problem in getting these weapons. Just to say that we got this weapon. That is why you see the strategies have been changed. So I don't see that maybe because of elections.
Okay, change of strategy.
Exactly.
Because many critics too in Nigeria are questioning the manner in which the fight against Boko Haram was being carried out by the government.
No. It's because we don't have a sophisticated weapon to fight this Boko Haram.
So the problem was at the level
But now that we have gotten some, I think you see the level of the something that has been changed, and the help of other countries like Cameroon, Chad, and Niger. I think the solidarity is there, and it's a joint force. It's not a Nigeria problem.
And to you, the notion cannot have an impact on any presidential candidates, especially the ruling government.
No, we have no impact. Just that we see that there is peace in Nigeria, because without peace we cannot talk about election. That's why government said no. We must find peace first. And we thank God, peace is coming back to Nigeria, and the election is going to be very fantastic. And
peace is coming when hundreds of children are missing. Remember the young girls of Chibok that were seized on their school campus, and just a few days ago we're talking about other hundreds of people, especially children, that were seized in Nigeria, precisely in a village of Masaka, something. Yeah, the village of Masaka, as a result of the Boko Haram insurgents. And you are talking of peace. Do you think that it's not going to paralyze maybe these elections?
That is why we are praying every day. Even though in Nigeria they declare a fasting day prior to election, so that we can have peace. And it's part of the challenge a nation like Nigeria may face. And I think by the special grace of God and the prayers of loving people, at the end of everything, peace will come back to Nigeria. We will try to get back those Chibok girls.
So through peace, things can get better.
Yes, without peace, I mean, Cameroon, because there is peace. So automatically, if there is peace in Nigeria, peace will be to everybody. So it's part of our prayer every day that we should always think back home and see what we can do. That's why every Sunday when we go to shop, we always encourage our people, pray for the peace of Nigeria. And they must pray for the peace of Nigeria. And I love the way our people are doing. Even the Cameroonians, you can see Cameroonians mobilizing themselves, creating awareness, praying every day, so that peace can come back to the affected areas, because it's not only Nigeria problem. It's a continental problem. We need a continental solution. So that is why the solidarity, the understanding of the government now is increasing day by day, to make sure that this sect called Boko Haram is a story of the past. So I believe
that things will get better. Now, after the post-Saturday elections, is there any guarantee that whichsoever president wins, is it going to bring peace in Nigeria, a long-lasting peace in the embattled Nigeria?
Yes, we hope that. That is why, if you look at the debate organized on Sunday, though opposition leader were not, one of the opposition leaders was not there, but I think they presented their manifesto, what they can do. And I believe one of their priorities is peace, to fight this insecurity. Because without peace, nothing you can do. Because it will paralyze all your agenda. So after 28th of March, this Saturday, whoever emerges a winner, I believe, is priority to see that there is peace.
Any predictions?
I'm not God and I'm not a magician. What I just want to tell my compatriots that they should vote wisely. They should vote wisely and pray God should guide them. Go there and cast your vote. Stay out from violence. Stay out from anything that will cause problem. Observe your vote, because your vote must be counted. One vote, one man. So I believe we are mature enough to know what we look for.
Whosoever wins the elections, we are seeing the impact that the crisis in Nigeria is causing on Nigerians themselves, We see how thousands have been displaced and they're taking refuge in the far north region of the country. A good number of them too in Akwaya southwest region of the country. Nothing is being done about it. What could be your expectations from the government as far as the plight of these displaced Nigerians is concerned?
I believe after the election, no tension, no diversification exists. Are you getting me? Because everybody is focusing on the election. How I'm going to win this election. And after the election, you now have a peace that, look, thank God I'm a winner. So let me now fight for the peace of my country. And you call the opposition that, come, if you have any idea, let's join hands together and see. It's our country. United States. So we should not say that because I didn't win, I will not have to try to convince or try to brainwash some people to go against the winner. No. Join hands together and see that what can we do to solve this problem. It's our country. Tomorrow we can be the president. It's just for 4 years. So I just want to urge whoever be the loser or winner should join together and respect the peace accord that is our country.
And address some of these problems because it's really precarious.
That's why I'm saying that whoever become winner, his priority should be how to report peace back to Nigeria. And he cannot do it alone. Cannot do it. You have to work with the fellow Nigerians that have the idea. We have a lot of ideas. We have a lot of people that can, give you idea what you can do. And that's why I'm saying that after the election, no more tension. What the government need to do is just call everybody, dialogue, and rub minds, exchange ideas. Because I cannot be happy that I see my fellow countrymen or countrywomen taking refugees in another country. It's not good. So my prayer that God will guide us and see that this election will not cause more problem, because we are trying to fight Boko Haram, and this another election coming, it's not going to be all go away from Nigeria's image. We are the face of Africa. Anything that happens to Nigeria concerns the whole world. Do
you think it has impacted the image of Nigeria so far?
No, it's part of challenge. Big problem. So we pass it. It's very soon we put behind us. It's normal. Even America faces challenges every day. So if Nigeria is facing challenges, it's just temporary. It's not permanent. It's part of it. If you want to be a leader of a community,
the challenges are there, but they are temporary.
It's normal, my sister. It's normal. You cannot be a big brother and you don't have problem. Your children will be coming every day. Look, you have to manage it very well. We manage our issues. That's why I like my country. We manage it and put it behind us. I just want to appreciate the effort of the international community and our neighboring country, Cameroon, Nigeria, for the understanding. That's what we want. We need to work together. I mean that this thing stops. I'm here in Cameroon because there is peace. Automatically, I'm proud of my country. Look, go to Nigeria. I have a lot of friends that want to go to that side. Because of Boko Haram, they are afraid. It's not a good image for me. So I must pray every day. I must work so that Nigeria becomes the Nigeria we've known before. Nigeria is a very peaceful country. But God, there's nothing God cannot do.
Of course.
So that is it. So,
thank you so much, Mr. Ishmael.
It's my pleasure
Adebola, for joining us tonight on Talking Point. We hope to have you some other time again.
It's my pleasure for Equinox to see that. Look, let us see what is happening in the Nigeria community.
Our viewers were receiving tonight the public relations officer of the Nigerian community here in the littoral region. We thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
And to our viewers, it was equally our pleasure having you with us in this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinox Television. Until we meet again, goodbye.